Tonight on Joy News Prime, one policeman and female bystander killed in attack on bullion van by armed men. We want the public to volunteer information that will help in the apprehension of the perpetrators.
Man was also taken away together with a specified amount of money. The crime scene experts have been invited to process the crime scene as part of police investigations to get the perpetrators arrested. Meanwhile, anyone with information on this incident should kindly contact the Accra Regional Police.
The Accra mayor is concerned about the spate of crime.
Ladies and gentlemen, crimes continue to...
Well, the latest incident comes on the back of two similar attacks near the police headquarters, the Pig Farm, just last week. And the Inspector General of Police wants his men to devise new strategies to fight the growing sophistication in crime. The Fix the Country campaigners say they will not relent in their efforts to stage their street protests to power pressure on government to address the many difficulties facing Ghanaians.
Because our lawyers did not file their motion earlier or did not give a copy to the Republic. So what we're going to do is that the case has been adjourned to Monday and we have to come back. So we would have to meet with our people and then communicate to the larger group. This is a movement for the people.
In business, a standoff between lawmakers and the Bank of Ghana. We get a reaction from banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuahene, who says the central bank was right to decline an invitation from lawmakers to investigate the revocation of licenses of UT and Unibank. My name is Israel. Joy News Prime is coming to you live from our fan of our studios at Kokomlimli here in Accra on your digital terrestrial TV, because we're free to, and also on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. This is a home of independent, fearless, credible and impactful journalism. Stay tuned in. Now, the Fix the Country campaigners say they remain resolute despite the unending legal tussle with the police over the push to hit the streets. The campaigners have been trying for a while now to bring pressure to bear on government to urgently fix challenges facing the country by mobilizing public support. Joseph Akable, who was in court Monday, reports the matter was adjourned to June 21 for oral argument on whether or not the group should be restrained from protesting.
The outstanding case before the High Court remains crucial for a number of reasons. It is the only pending matter against the planned street protest, and the Ghana Police Service insists that the event cannot be allowed to take place since it would amount to a super spreader of COVID-19. They say that the plan that the group has presented as to how they intend to comply with the COVID protocols during the protests are not sustainable, neither are they effective, and so they want the court to stop the group from going ahead with the protest. The group disagree and say that they cannot be barred from protesting until such a time that the restrictions on public gatherings are lifted. They make the point that in other jurisdictions, various measures have been put in place to permit people pouring onto the streets, despite the fact that COVID-19 is still with us in the country. And so they were supposed to have the legal arguments today, but the late filing of documents by the protesters left the court with no other option than to adjourn the matter to June 21. Some of the protesters, a leader, Adachi Brownson, has been speaking to us in terms of what they make of the situation so far and the next line of action.
Okay, so for now we just got this information, okay, because our lawyers did not file their motion earlier or did not give a copy to the Republic. So what we're going to do is that the case has been adjourned to Monday and we have to come back. So we would have to meet with our people and then communicate to the larger group. This is a movement for the people. So until we get in touch with the people, we can't tell you what we are going to do next. But we are still mobilizing. So anyone who feels like they can help mobilize people in their district or towns, they can visit our social media pages and then get in touch with us. That is GH Fix the Country. You know, we've always been saying that we live in a broken system, okay? And these processes are part of the broken system we are talking about. If we are saying we want the country fixed, these problems or issues are part of the problems that we need to fix. You understand that? So we are not discouraged, we are not disappointed as well. We know it is going to be a long journey. Okay, so we are ready for the journey then.
So the legal arguments will take place on June 21. Reporting for Joy News from the Law Court Complex, my name is Joseph Akable.
Now, Chairman of Parliament's Appointment Committee, Joseph Owusu, has rejected claims by the minority that last Friday's vetting of deputy ministerial appointees by the committee amounted to disrespect of the Speaker's directive. Minority MPs were absent from the committee sitting which vetted Martin Eje, Mensah-Korsah and 3 of his colleagues. Though the minority MPs had indicated they were boycotting Mr. Korsah's vetting due to the violence that characterized his victory in the Techiman South parliamentary election, they ended up not participating in the vetting of the other deputy ministerial appointees. Minority Chief Whip in Parliament, Muntaka Mubarak, told a sitting of the committee Monday the decision by the chairman to go ahead with the sitting on Friday was unfortunate.
If you look at the program for the vetting of the deputy ministers, we identified each day what we will do. It is true that on Friday, the ranking member told me that the Speaker has said we should go out and do tree planting, so Parliament will not sit on Friday. But soon after that, the majority leader came in, and I asked him of that because Parliament had then not convened, so it appears it is a pre-sitting meeting. And the majority leader said, no, the Appointments Committee is not part. We should continue with our work. That was in the presence of the ranking member, who is the minority leader. At the close of work on the Friday, members of this committee actually met and discussed whether we would continue with our program or whether we will reschedule the meeting on Friday. And we're unanimous that we will continue with our meeting. I'm hearing today that after we had concluded and left, members of the minority went out to another meeting of theirs, and they sent somebody to communicate to me that we should postpone the meeting. That was not a meeting of the committee. At best, it's a suggestion which the committee, if we met again, could have considered. But it was Honorable Muntaka who called me around 7 p.m. that they had decided that we should suspend their meeting. I said, no. We all met and took this decision. After that, it was not open to me to reschedule the meeting. So what they decided was after the fact. After the committee had met and agreed that we would continue. For whatever reason, they chose that on the Friday they would not continue. But they did not bring it to the meeting for the meeting to take a decision. And it was not open to me to change the decision of the committee.
Mr. Owusu says the directive by the Speaker, that MPs go support the nationwide tree planting exercises did not affect the committee's work.
Fortunately, choice is always open to members of Parliament. When I vote on a member, I'm not obliged to give reasons why I vote A or B. But when you give reasons, then you must expect that people will examine the reasons. But for now, as a leader, I choose to stay out of those considerations, right? I need the cooperation of the team, except that sometimes, to be fair, they stretch the strength they have too much. In this particular instance, I think that they are overstretching the strength they have. Because for me, one, as I've explained, the decision to continue was not unilateral. Our record will reflect that members of both sides were there and you all agreed that we will continue. It is not open to them to subsequently say, we have changed our minds, so stop proceedings. I think that's not fair to the rest of us. Right. As to whether they will vote against him or not, it's their choice. But, well, in the end, I'm sure posterity will review all our actions and the basis, if any.
The minority says it will not support approval of Mr. Korsah for the position. Mr. Owusu said the committee has recommended his approval at the plenary. Now, on why the vacant position on the committee left by Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa has not been filled, Mr. Owusu says it is not up to him to get it filled. He says though a separate committee of selection has to fill the vacancy, the committee's work has not been affected.
To the committee we call the selection committee, to replace the number who purported to have resigned. But it's entirely up to the site number it's from for them to nominate another person for the selection committee to consider.
Doesn't that take something away from the committee, the fact that 25 of you have been doing the job and up until this stage, the 26th individual who is out hasn't been replaced?
I've never considered individuals. I consider quorum. Sometimes I wait for even the ranking member, but other times I don't wait for him. As long as I have quorum, I proceed. Except that we have built such a working relationship that I'll talk to him. We want to start. Then we'll ask somebody from their side.
Well, staying with the Appointments Committee, Deputy Health Minister Designate Mama Saidu has described as alien the practice of health facilities charging pregnant women for services and medication. A recent documentary by Corruption Watch titled Pay or Die revealed despite provisions in the NHIA Act, some health officials at the 37 Military Hospital, Mamprobi Polyclinic and others charge pregnant women. Responding to questions on the documentary's revelations at Parliament's Appointments Committee during his vetting, Mr. Saidu indicated he will advise his minister to set up an investigation into the reports.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. This particular issue, to be frank with you, I can't speak to it because I'm yet to be there and I'm not privy to something. What I know is that National Health Insurance covers all those things. So this other cost is alien to me. So if you put me, I'll meet my minister. We will discuss.
So now I'll ask your personal opinion. To your knowledge, National Health Insurance covers that cost. But there's a report that some public health officials or health officials are charging pregnant women a cost which should be borne by health insurance. What do you think we should do in that circumstance?
In these circumstances, Mr. Chairman, I will suggest to my minister that he should commence investigation into this and come out, and so that we come out with the truth. Then we don't take that. We take remedial actions from that point. Thank you, sir.
President Akufo-Addo, in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic, announced in April plans to build a district hospital in all districts without one. 14 months or not even one has been built. The Deputy Minister Designate says 75 of the 111 contracts have been awarded.
Agenda 11 is a vision of the MPP government just to augment deficit in health infrastructure. The program is still on course. So far, 75 of them have been awarded, waiting for the certificate for them to commence. The others are in the preparatory line. And if you approve my nominee, you approve me, I will discuss with my minister. We'll find out how and when this things can commence. But I know before the end of this 2021, something will be done. Thank you.
And now on to our top story. A policeman escorting a bullion van was shot in the head and killed Monday afternoon near the timber market here in Accra. According to eyewitnesses, the armed assailants bolted with a policeman's gun and an unspecified amount of money that was on board the van. A 40-year-old mother of three who was hiding in her shop was also struck by a bullet, killing her instantly. This is the third such daylight attack involving guns in recent times. Maxwell Agwagwa was at the crime scene and reports.
We're told that this bullion van here was actually transferring some cash to an unknown destination. Just some minutes when it got to this spot, it was crossed by a taxi driver, we are told. So that lowered the speed a bit for the bullion van. So at the time that it stopped, we are told that 6 men on different motorbikes accosted the driver of the vehicle, and we are told that resulted in the shooting of the driver, and then an armed police officer who was escorting the bullion van was also shot in the head. If you come here, there's blood splattered on the floor right now as I'm speaking. to you. The bullion van also, you can still see the bullet holes on the vehicle. We're told that the robbers fired indiscriminately in this heavily populated community. We're told the entire operation lasted for about 3 minutes, to the extent that some of the community members actually tried blocking some of the exits here, just some meters away from where I'm standing. I'm told that the robbers realized that, so they used a different exit point to get out of this community. Many of the people I've been speaking to are shocked about the brazen manner which the incident happened.
What happened is that we were sitting down there, I think we were there buying ice cream. So the moment we heard gunshot, then one ran away, so left with two. So we're watching what's going to happen. So what I realized is that I think they shoot the policeman, and then they shoot the driver twice, and then we saw one woman at the back, they bring her at the front, and they start beating him. So, and then one at the back tried to open the gate at the back, and then they took the money. So they were shooting the guns around, so nobody can even get close to them. Okay. Yeah, so that's the one enter the kiosk and then kill that woman over there. Because the one shooting our rounds, we cannot get close to them. So we try our best that maybe after finishing, they will pass through this place. So we blocked that side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we blocked there. So they didn't pass there, they passed that side. We took moto and followed them, but we couldn't get them.
Were they masked?
No.
They were not?
No.
But they were wearing helmets?
They didn't wear helmets. Those holding the guns, they are not wearing anything. They're just holding the guns directly. Yeah.
Did you hear the language they were speaking?
Oh, I didn't hear anything because we are almost 50 meters to them. But only we are hearing gunshot and things. And then where we are, the gun cannot even enter because we are dodging and watching them.
A woman who sells in a convenience store here was hit by the bullets that was fired by the robbers. We are told that she operates the convenience store that is here. One of the bullets that was fired actually penetrated this barrel that is here. So you can see the bullet hole on this barrel, very visible. The first one here penetrated the top, and then the second one penetrated the down. And after penetrating, while she was hiding in this room, we are told that the bullet penetrated this point. She was standing, and then they hit her in the neck, and that was what killed her, according to eyewitnesses. Quite a number of people are gathered in a home commiserating with the family. It's all tears for them. I have a woman here who is quite concerned about the issue.
The lady who is gone now is my sister-in-law, and it's very sad because he left with 3 children. And our president and the ministries of defense should take it serious that it shouldn't happen again. That the mother should leave their children around over this time. It's very painful. That is all what I can say. Now look at my brother. See how he's suffering. Not talking of me going to take care of the children. It's very bad and very painful. I'm sad and disappointed. Yes, that was last, before 3 months. We heard that they broke some jail, and I'm sure some of them have run into this place, and they are including of what happened. So the government should work hard and look for them and deal with them.
Just some minutes ago also, we had the mayor of Accra coming here to commiserate with the family.
But I think that as a nation, we should be mindful and probably step up the retrieval of people, retrieval of a lot of ammunitions. So I think that it's important we take note of that. That there are too many, maybe, unlicensed ammunitions probably in the hands of people. And as a nation, we should step up the retrieval of such ammunitions. I mean, just look at the community. It's a lot of people are here. A lot of people are here. So just take note of that.
Let's speak to the husband of the deceased.
I was called on a phone by a young lady to be told that my wife is lying in a pool of blood. But then I was far from home, so I have to rush over here. And I came to, it's true, when I came it was true that the body has been taken to the police morgue.
So you've not even seen the body yet? When was the last time you spoke to her?
We spoke yesterday several times. We spoke in the night, discussing about the children.
The Accra Region Police Command is urging the public to volunteer information that will lead to the arrest of the perpetrators. Spokesperson for the command, DSP Efia Tenge, has been giving the police's account of the attack.
Today, Monday, 14 June 2021, at about 11:30 a.m., information received by the police indicated that a bullion van had been attacked. Police swiftly responded, and on-the-spot investigation indicates that the bullion van was on a daily sales collection errand, and on reaching an area called Adedenpo, that is a suburb of Jamestown, some unidentified armed men on not less than 3 motorbikes crossed the bullion van and started shooting sporadically. In the process, 2 persons were shot and killed instantly. The policeman on escort duty and also a lady whose identity the police is yet to verify. The bullion driver sustained gunshot wounds and has been sent to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital for treatment. 2 tellers who were on the bullion van escaped unhurt. The weapon of the policeman was also taken away together with an unspecified amount of money. The crime scene experts have been invited to process the crime scene as part of police investigations to get the perpetrators arrested. Meanwhile, anyone with information on this incident should kindly contact the Accra Regional Police Command, the nearest police station, or call police emergency numbers 191 or 18555. Further updates on this incident shall be communicated.
Meanwhile, police in the Accra region say they have increased surveillance in crime hotspots in the capital. Apart from the attacks involving gunshots, some commuters on the Gimpa Bypass Road have had their car windows smashed and their belongings taken. Before we hear what the police have been doing about it, here's a report cataloging some of the incidents.
There have been at least 4 separate incidents of violent attacks in Accra. These incidents, which were mainly armed robbery attacks, started from the Gimpa Bypass. The suspects involved hid in nearby bushes and smashed the side glass of oncoming vehicles in an attempt to rob occupants.
You guys should avoid the Gimpa stretch late nights. They tried to rob me, but I was smart. I had to continue driving. I sped off, and then that's what they threw. Can you imagine?
On Wednesday, June 9, there were 2 armed robbery incidents involving gun-wielding men on motorbikes. In the first of the 2 incidents, the robbers accosted the victim at Pig Farm, fired 5 warning shots, then shot him in the stomach, leaving blood splattered on a section of the road.
Then I just hear a 2 gun warning shots. Boom, boom, 2. So after they stopped the other biker and they collected his bag and they shoot him 2 bullets.
In a second incident, 3 gun-wielding men on motorbikes entered the Forex Bureau adjacent the fire service headquarters, which is also a few meters away from the police headquarters. They shot 2 workers and robbed them of their monies.
They come down, I hear the bullet, something like I did 12 or the bullet.
On Saturday evening at about 9:30 p.m., a male driver informed the Achimota School District Police during a patrol he had been attacked by 2 armed men. The driver, who had been shot, then led police to the crime scene, and upon arrival, the 2 robbers fled the scene as they escaped to a nearby forest. Another robbery incident was also recorded around the Cell Fuel station at Baolishi near East Legon at about 7:40 p.m. on Sunday. The two robbers sitting on a motorbike sped off using the Lagos Avenue stretch immediately after the incident. The police has made at least 5 arrests in connection with the crimes over the week. It is, however, advising robbery victims to formally file complaints on their experiences to the nearest police station.
Oh, Dr. Kwesi Ening, who's a security analyst, he joins us. He is with the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. He joins us now with some analysis on these trends. Thank you very much, Dr. Ening, for making time. I'm sure you've been observing the incidents that have been reported, and especially today's incident where 2 people have been killed. It comes as great concern to residents of Accra. But does it appear that we're having a hand on these incidents?
No, I've said this, and I sound like a broken record. It's going to get much worse because we are not ready. We are not putting in the investments. We are not making the operational assessments that measures our levels of progress and the results of the operations that we are doing to combat crime. We are not serious about small arms flows in this country. These murders have almost become like entertainment. So I'm truly very sorry, but this is going to get much worse, much, because we are just not ready to respond.
What immediately can be done to address the challenges?
Well, first and foremost, I don't think we have an understanding of the nature and the changing dynamics underpinning these challenges. Look, give me just 2 minutes. First, what are the types of assessments that we are making to understand the type of crime? And I think this one you can ask any senior police officer whether they can off the cuff tell you over the last 6 months, 18 months, 3 months, 9 months, that we've done these operational assessments, we've measured or we've identified what the challenges are, we've identified or we've measured the progress that we have made, and we've understood the context within which these problems are taking place. Number 2, I think every single commander needs what I term as a warning panel. Okay, every day plotting in his or her office the signs that are indicative of a worsening or an improving situation. Number 3, agree with the team to identify what is not going on as planned. Look, we are being given promises of no crime, less crime, improved crime situation. That does not identify what is not going on as planned. Now, immediately, assurances are given to the public that do not come out as it's supposed to be. People lose trust. Okay? Number 4, where should we focus attention? Is it on small arms flows, registration, mapping, magazines? Who owns these magazines? How many guns have been brought into the country? How many have been licensed? How many bullets are brought in? How many explosives are brought in? Where are the detonators? Okay? Now, when we know all these things, we can ask ourselves, how do we allocate resources that can underpin the decisions that we make? Kaswa, over the past 7 years, we've seen the trajectory in the demographic growth, explosive demographic growth, leading to unplanned urbanization in Kaswa, great crime scene, easy for people to get lost. Okay, so we are not using the science and the technical skill sets that are available to be able to proactively respond and to bring this under control.
Now, Dr. Ening, looking at this specific case of the incident that happened today, it appears the robbers very easily got charged or were able to easily rob this bullion van, despite the presence of a police officer.
Now, when you use a bullion van, is it not just a pickup with a carriage at the back?
That is what I'm coming to. What are we supposed to be doing about these so-called...
No. But when you also classify it wrongly...
All right.
This is just a pickup truck. It has no protective defenses. The sides are not armored. The glass is not of the appropriate thickness. So this is just a 2x4, pickup truck. So any criminal with the appropriate bullets, with the appropriate tips, will be able to shoot through that thing. And therein lies my point about identifying what is not going on as planned, where to focus attention and resource allocation decisions, and looking also at a time plan. I mean, what happened tonight really is tragic. But let me make a point that may be tangential to this. Can we, as a nation, show a bit of respect and dignity for human life so we don't flood the internet with these painful pictures? It is undignified, it is unethical, it is improper, and shines us in a very poor light. No, we shouldn't be sending these pictures around. It's just not acceptable. Because when you send these pictures around, what it does is that it emboldens the criminal. Daylight, crowded space, where did they get the guns from? What type of guns did they use? Where did they get the ammo? Look, there are so many questions that are left unanswered. But I'll tell you, I am not surprised at all. Because I've said this for the past 15 years. It will get damn worse before we need to sit down around the table and say, what can we do?
All right, thank you very much, Professor Kwesi Ening, a security analyst with the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. You're watching Joy News Prime.
You're welcome to Business. I'm Charles IJ. The Bank of Ghana was right to decline invitation by Parliament to assist with investigations into the revocation of the banking licenses of defunct Unibank and Unity Bank. That's the assertion by banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuahine. According to him, the central bank has the power, per the Banks and Specialized Deposit-Taking Institutions Act, to turn down the invitation. The regulator has argued that the decision to decline Parliament's invitation is according to its statutory powers under the Banks and Specialized Deposit-Taking Institutions Act. Banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuahine spoke early on the marketplace.
This stems out from the BSDI 2016 Act 930. If you read section 140 and 141 and 142, is explicitly stated that if you have any grievances concerning your withdrawal of license, there are due processes that you have to go through. But Parliament was not mentioned anywhere. If you give me time, I will tell you some of the processes. The first line is that within 30 days, if you feel aggrieved, you appeal to Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana will refer to the Chief Justice, which the Chief Justice would have to appoint a judicative panel to review the case. And if the panel review the case and you're not satisfied, then you have the right to go to High Court for a review. And if you're not satisfied, then you go to arbitration, where you go to the dispute resolution, where it is clearly stated where you can go and solve yourself. Yeah, in democratic governance, you're right, because I even checked the Constitution to find out that powers that Parliament has got. There was nothing like that. And I go back to
urging Parliament to rather consider a critical review of the banking sector.
What the Parliament should have done, which to me meets international best practices, is that when all the dust are settled, then the Bank of Ghana should take, the Parliament should take an overview, that's to look at the whole sector, what brought about the whole hulu-baloo in the sector. You don't single out two out of the 9 banks and the 347 microfinances and the savings and loans. They should take their time. When the debts are settled, then they should look a total critical review of what happened. What lessons have we learned? How do we stop this happening in the future? And if it happens in the future, what will be the strategy? So these are matters after the court, because the thing is already pending in court. The case was already pending in court. So if you go to court and the court say that they are guilty, and you say Parliament is not guilty, who takes the show? Because Bank of Ghana is taking its power from the act that was actually passed in 2016, and it is explicitly stated, as I've told you. So if you bypass it, what you're saying is good. It's done in other jurisdictions. It's been done in UK, it's done in America, it's been done in Nigeria. So what you should do is that you let the dust settle, and then you look at the whole sector, rather than picking one or two. Because if you pick 1 and 2, what have you done to the other 7 or the other 347 microfinances? I think they have the right to do it, but they don't do it while the thing is in court. And when you're doing it, it's a different objective.
Government has been able to clear all energy sector debts owed the banks and power companies. The debt cleared is a little above 8 billion cedis out of the total 10 billion cedis. But there appears to be some arrears that the government may have to clear apart from the energy sector debts. George Rafi tells us more.
These debts were cleared by the ESLA PLC, the special purpose company created to clear these debts. The firm then went onto the market to issue bonds backed by what it was hoping to get from the taxes imposed on petroleum products, that is the energy sector levies. According to the report covering how the ESLA monies have been spent, and in March this year, it showed that the levy had brought in a little over 5 billion Ghana cedis. The company has used part of it to pay off the bondholders who gave the monies to the ESLA PLC. The report also showed that the energy levy's performance was impacted last year because of COVID-19, an indication that it could by now have raised all the monies to clear the debts. We also can see that based on the debts cleared so far, government is now left with 2.6 billion Ghana cedis to pay the banks and the power companies. The state might now have to turn its attention to the bondholders and pay some 7.6 billion Ghana cedis ending May this year. The Energy Sector Levies Act was created in 2015 to help provide funding for the power generation firms and clear legacy debts in the energy sector, a move that would have opened the sector for some fresh investments and put it on a strong footing going forward.
And that's how we end business for this segment.
Right, time for Showbiz and Becky. Bex is here. Hello, Bex.
Hello to you. Good to see you. Easy.
Yeah, good to see you too.
So what were you doing in Kumasi?
Well, the program was working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk more about that.
Sure.
But let's talk about E-Vibes because last weekend I hosted Yao Sapon, legendary Yao Sapon. He's been telling us all about his journey through the music industry for over 40 years and still counting. And he spoke about one thing that everybody else wants to know, whether or not he's married to Tiwa. They've been working together for the past 39 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes, the past 39 years. And he tells me that Tiwa is not his wife, and Tiwa knows that he's not married to her, and his wife knows that Tiwa is not. So they're all speculations. Tiwa has her own children. He is also married with 4 children.
Right. So
let's listen to Yao.
So, and your wife, we've never heard about your wife before, and people are speculating that it's Auntie Tiwa that you're married to.
No.
I saw a publication on, I think it was a video, something on YouTube, that Yao Sapon explains something about Tiwa.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Oh, it's not. Tiwa is not my wife. I just picked Tiwa because of music, and he's very good.
Yeah.
So he's with me since 1981. And a lot of people think that why can a lady work with somebody?
Yes.
But that's because Tiwa first born he was with me before he gave his firstborn and secondborn. He was with me with my wife.
Okay.
So my wife knows Tiwa is not my wife. Everybody and plenty people know, but At that time, we don't have a name. People don't know us.
Yes.
But because the name has reached people, anybody is talking what he likes.
So Uncle Yaw Sarpong there. So there you have it. Everybody else out there still thinking that Yaw Sarpong is married to Tiwa. Here you go.
All right, thank you very much, Becky Bex, for bringing us showbiz.
Anytime, easy.
Well, then let's take a look at the stories making headlines on My Journal Online. Armed robbers kill police officer, eyewitness, and injure bullion van driver at Korle Bu. That happened today. It's one of our top stories. We're taking a break, but there's more news on the Joy News Prime. To stay tuned.
Many thanks for staying with us. Time to bring you sports. My name is Hans Mensah and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. They are back on level peggings with Accra Hearts of Folk at the summit of the Ghana Premier League table after beating Inter Allies FC today in the round 29 fixture. The Fabulous Club recorded a 3-2 victory over relegation-threatened side to keep their title hopes intact. Evans, Adomako and Andrews Kojoapo scored their maiden goals in the league for Asante Kotoko to ensure they claim all 3 points. Allies trainer Felix Abuaji made only one change to the team that lost 1-0 to Legon Cities FC in the last round at the Accra Sports Stadium.
Asma with a cross in, Adumaku's header, and Jemfi connects Kotoko up by 1-0. 26 minutes. This goal is well worked. Brilliant stuff from the Porcupine Warriors. And this man here is excited. At least he's can put the troubles in Morocco behind him and celebrate Tabalora. Good goal from Kotoko.
A very good goal. Very, very good goal. He's on surface, sees his captain in an area where he could have a simple tapping, so he just pushes the ball back to him. Brilliant pass it is with the head.
Matthew Sulemana goes past Christopher Neti, sends a cross, and Alex Asso equalizes for Inter Allies.
Nobody's there to clear it. Ball falls and breaks kindly to Asso, who has a simple task of putting.
Neti finds Keyeke. Matthew's careful about the way he's tackling Keyeke, but the cross comes in from Neti. Jemfi was at the far post. Ball was blocked by Abanga, sends a cross in, and Kotoko are back in the lead. Adumaku, this time the scorer and not the provider.
Returns the favor to Adumaku. Adumaku, this sets him up for the first goal, and for the second is Jemfi to Adumaku. Again, easy finish in the in it.
Abanga's corner, Okpe's header, and that's the equalizer. Inter Allies have equalized. Great goal from Andy Okpe. And Rasidu Bauda and say Allahu Akbar.
And it's been coming, really, it's been coming. Allies have been the better side in this second half. And Razak Abelora just goes on his knees, but he knows he can't do anything about it. Andy Okpe rose.
Sports medical practitioner Dr. Prince Pambo, who is also a member of the CAF medical team, has revealed many Ghana Premier League centres are not well equipped to handle incidents of sudden cardiac arrest.
I believe if this had happened at the Accra Sports Stadium, I would say that this player would have had a chance of living just as he's living, because many years ago, we were able to make a case to kind of have a medical directorate at the Accra Sports Stadium under the National Sports Authority. And through that, we're able to make a case to the National Ambulance Service. And as I speak to you now, the Accra Sports Stadium is one of the ambulance stations in the country in Accra. So there's a fully equipped, brand new ambulance given by the National Ambulance Service to be at the Accra Sports Stadium. And this ambulance is always available whenever there are games going on at the Accra Sports Stadium. And then we have properly trained emergency medical technicians who are always there. And this particular ambulance is well equipped with an AED. So Accra Sports Stadium, he would have come back to life, because they would have been able to do what our colleagues did in Denmark.
Okay.
Kumasi Sports Stadium, it would have happened. They would have. Now, what I can't say for sure is what would have happened at the other league centers. And then also what I can't say for sure, it's the competence of some of the medical bench of some of our clubs. So that is also another point to want to re-emphasize, that clubs will just have to ensure that every medic on their bench should be well equipped with this particular CPR skill to be able to do it, because the team doctors are the first to get there, and then they should be able to work.
So Dr. Prince Pambo speaking there, and a quick update from the Euro 2020 game. Currently ongoing is goalless between Spain and Sweden. And of course, you can read more sports at myjoyonline.com.
Yeah, but congratulations to Kotoko for catching up with Accra Hearts of Oak on the league too.
Are they catching up with their level on
Accra Hearts of Oak has
It's
been
only
there.
because Hearts played a day before Asante.
Yeah, but Accra Hearts of Oak has been there all this while, and Kotoko is not catching up.
But I mean, for me as a neutral, it's exciting because I get to see the league decided during the Super Clash between Hearts.
Are you really a neutral?
I'm a neutral.
You're a fabulous fan.
No, I'm a neutral.
Really?
Don't I look neutral?
No, you don't.
I'm very neutral.
You don't. I thank you very much, Hans, for bringing us up. The sports, we're taking a break. We have more news coming over. Do stay tuned in. We're returning to our top story on today's robbery incident at Korle Bu. Inspector General of Police James Opombonu is charging members of the force to devise new strategies to fight crime across the country. According to the IGP, crime is growing in sophistication and officers must take the opportunity to expand their knowledge. He was speaking at the opening ceremony of a promotional course for constables in Accra.
Ladies and gentlemen, crimes continue to evolve in a very sophisticated fashion and perpetrated by a network of well-resourced and well-connected criminal gangs, both within the country and across its borders. This poses a major threat to human security and national development. Transnational crimes such as human trafficking, narcotics trafficking, terrorism, kidnapping, cyber crimes, auto theft, piracy, among others, require a resilient and robust law enforcement agency to effectively respond to threats posed by these crimes. We therefore need to make conscious efforts to always stay on top of our game, to be able to maintain our constitutional duty of enforcing law and order and making Ghana one of the most peaceful countries in the world. This also calls for a continuous collaboration with the sister security agencies. So your being here is not just to take you away from your job and to camp you for this period. It is for us to instruct you on what you are supposed to do when you get to the next rank of Lance Corporal. I urge you to use this opportunity to broaden your horizon on contemporary law enforcement strategies, our administrative procedures and regulations to adequately prepare you for the examination and task ahead in your professional career.
Well, in the very latest on the robbery at Korle Bu, the IGP has directed the Director of Police CID to take over the investigation. The statement has just come through. It says, the investigation of Jamestown Bullion Van attack. The Inspector General of Police, IGP, Mr. James Opombonu, has directed the Director General Criminal Investigations Department to take over the investigation into the attack on a bullion van at Adedimpo, a suburb of Jamestown in Accra on June 14, 2021, which led to the murder of a police officer. Preliminary investigation shows that unidentified armed men on a number of motorbikes crossed the bullion van, which was on a pay collection errand at about 1100 hours, and shot at the police officer who was on escort duty on the van, killing him instantly. The armed men also fired sporadically in the air and on the driver, who sustained gunshot wounds and is responding to treatment. A hawker was also killed by the armed men when one of two ladies on the bullion van stepped out of the van and ran towards the deceased seller's direction. Both ladies on the van, tellers of Montran, escaped unhurt but were sent to the hospital to be treated for trauma. Crime scene experts have already visited the scene of the crime and are going through the necessary procedures. The IGP is also reminding the Association of Bankers to provide fortified armored vehicles for carting currencies by the close of June 2021, as earlier agreed between them and the police service, lest the police withdraws its officers for escort duties. Now, this is significant. This is one of the issues that was raised by Dr. Professor Kwesi Aning when we spoke with him earlier. He had indicated that he did not think that the vans being used can't be described as bullion vans. And now the police is saying that they are expecting the Association of Bankers to do something about it, to equip or provide more fortified. The banks are supposed to provide more fortified vans, else the police will be withdrawing their services. Let's go back to the statement. It says, meanwhile, anyone with information on the Jamestown bullion van incident should contact the nearest police station or call the investigative team on 026-212-2086 or 024-499-4564 or 024-428-0001 or on toll-free police emergency numbers 191 or 18555. And please take note of the numbers again on your screen, and please call if you have information that can help in apprehending the perpetrators. The statement was signed by Sheila Kesiabeye Bachman, the Superintendent of Police, and she's the Director of Public Affairs. Meanwhile, Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu has expressed concern about the growing number of armed robbery cases in the country. He has been addressing the media on the security situation.
The primary responsibility of the president is the safety and security of his citizens. If what we are reading is anything to go by, then we all must collectively express our disappointment at the presidency and his handling of matters of personal safety and security. It means that there is gradual breakdown of law and order, and I pray that we do not get to a state of normlessness in our country when the watchman himself is not safe, when the watchman himself is not secured, when the policeman who is supposed to protect life and property himself is not secured, then it leaves might to be desired. I'm told that even for many of them, they are not adequately and sufficiently prepared to protect lives and property, and that is equally disappointing. But our condolences will go to the bereaved family and to ask for restraint and calm in the country.
Now tonight, the National Union of Ghana Students is leading the appeal to get lecturers of technical universities to call off their strike. The Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana embarked on a strike over their conditions of service effective Monday. TUTAC members have been directed not to teach, invigilate, mark examination papers, and or submit results and attend meetings of any of the technical universities. Well, the strike appears to be biting, and students are worst affected. Here are some students at the Accra Technical University who spoke with my colleague Judith Awuchotando.
So I'm here at the Accra Technical University, where the TUTAC strike is gradually taking effect. While some lecturers are still going to class, others are not. Students here say that this is really affecting their academics as they await examinations on the 15th of August.
Honestly speaking, me as a student, I was supposed to come to school today, right? So I was in the car with my big brother and I overheard them saying on the radio that teachers of technical universities are going on strike, and I was like seriously? So I got to campus and we're supposed to have law lecture this morning, but our lecturer is not in, and I was gallivanting around on campus and I've heard people saying the strike has been effective, like it's confirmed. So I'm in level 200 second semester and I'm doing science, so day in, day out, I want to improve more on my learning academics. So right now it's really affecting me as a student because basically things are going on, and even the online classes, I'm not really participating to have a clear academic result to talk of teachers going on strike. So it's really going to affect me and my colleagues, because we are all on campus. We were expecting a lecture today, and now strike has been called off. I don't know what to say about it. And
actually, it will affect us.
okay, in a sense that like for us, for me, I'm doing LSOT, and moreover to like our courses are very, very plenty. So like we need to be in school so that let's say we can get access to whatever like the teacher will teach us. So if they go on a striker, it really affects us. So that one there, we are praying that it won't come on.
Yeah, it's going to affect us because we students, we need to learn to improve daily, and we are supposed to learn to head into another level, and we are supposed to be learning every day so that what we are not supposed to, like what we don't know, we know them more. And like for the teachers not teaching, it's going to affect us very, 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 very severe. Yeah.
For me, being level 100 is going to affect me a lot because this is a time I have to get on and out and move things so that I'll get my first class or whatever I wish to get. So going on strike at this time, I don't think it's appropriate.
Right now we are standing on behalf of the teachers and then the student populace to the government to see to the aid of the lecturers so that they can come back to class. Because after all, we are going to write exams whether they teach or not. And then that one is going to affect us a lot. Because even when we are having one-on-one lectures and then they are teaching, we don't even get much. And then right now they are on strike. It's going to affect us a lot.
Meanwhile, some students in the Tamale Technical University are worried that their strike will worsen the already late start of lectures. Martina Bugri spoke with some of the students there.
On Friday, we heard about it. Actually, we heard it on Friday, but then we didn't know it would be serious today. So when we came, we called the lecturers and they said, don't you know they are on strike? They won't be able to come. But then since school even resumed, this is the 4th week. We haven't had any serious class, and then it's left with about 4 weeks for us to finish class and then write exam. And this is the 4th week. We have 4 weeks left, which we haven't done any serious studies. So you can imagine how it is. We haven't learned anything. I guess we are going to write exam.
In fact, as we came, the place is very quiet. And in fact, the place is very boring and we don't know what to do. As we are here, we don't know whether to even go home or what to even do. They didn't tell us anything.
Well, the National Union of Ghana Students has added its voice appealing to TUTAG to call off the strike. Meanwhile, it says government must meet the demands of the lecturers because they're long overdue. We're taking a break now, bringing you more business news to stay tuned in.
Well, in business, Tullow Oil has announced an end to restructuring of its operations, which saw the firm embark on some massive layoffs and freeze on dividend payments. Now, the move, which was necessitated by dwindling crude prices, forced the firm to also embark on several cost-cutting measures, which even resulted in some Ghanaian workers with the firm being sent home. However, there are fears that with the company recently hit by COVID-19 shocks, there could be another round of layoffs. But the Visiting Group Chief Executive Rahul Dare insists his outfit has dealt with this challenge.
Today, as we are, I think we're in that place, and I think we will strive for continuous improvement. That's going to be our culture. But the sort of big things, I think that's sort of, my plan, which I'd set out. I think that's.
Will we see any further layoffs again?
Hopefully not. Look, for a leader, I think it's the most painful thing if you care for people, because a lot of the stuff happened before I came, but I certainly kind of inherited a lot of that process. And it sort of breaks your heart because it's a personal thing, and I have historically done this rule that every person I will talk to in previous companies, I'll talk to them myself, because it's a human thing. And so as a good manager, you say, look, can I make my business resilient so that we can provide an enduring career to people, we can provide people stability, because it's people's lives, right? So look, it's not something that you come to very lightly. I've been through, like I said, many cycles. I've learned my lessons. So I think we'd like to make the business resilient so that when there is another downturn, we don't have to do that. But look, this is the effort.
Well, let's now bring you a summary of international business news. That's it by way of business. I'm Charles Aite.
Thank you very much, Charles and Abby, for the Bulletin. I'm Israel Lai. Our hotline documentaries up next Tuesday. Tune in.